Today we are going to discuss about coups which happen when presidents were away or were abroad on a mission. We start with the story of coups which have occurred in different parts of Africa. Coups have been a recurring theme in political landscape of Africa, often catching leaders off guard while they were abroad. This phenomenon illustrates the precocious nature of power and the ever-present threat of sudden political upheaval. Below is a detailed look at African leaders who are removed from power while outside the country, showcasing a variety of circumstances and outcomes that this coup entail. Number 1, we have Nigeria, 1966. Nigeria in 1966 experience which was his first coup at the moment. This marked a significant turning point in the post-independent history. President Nnamdi Azikiwe was serving as Nigeria's first presidency in 1963. He was out of the country for medical treatment when the coup led by Army officer Major Kaduna Nzogwe took place. Azikiwe was one of the few prominent politicians who survived the initial fight that followed the coup. We saw many of his civilian colleagues assassinated. Number 2, we have Ghana, 1966. Another notable coup occurred in Ghana the same year. President Kwame Nkrumah, a leading figure in Pan-African movement and the first president of Ghana, was on an official visit to Vietnam when he was overthrown by a group of army officers. Nkrumah sought asylum in Guinea, where he was named the honorary co-president. He spent his remaining years in exile, continuing his advocacy for Africa unity until his death from cancer in Buja Perez in 1972. Number 3, we have another story of Ghana, 1972. Ghana saw another coup in 1972 when army commander against a coup to Acheampong seized power. Prime Minister Kofi Busia was in London for medical treatment at the time. This coup highlighted the vulnerability of Ghana's political structure, with military intervention becoming a recurring theme in the country's governance. This was followed by Libya, as number 4, 1969. Libya King Idris I was ousted by a bloodless coup in 1969, led by a young military officer named Mohamed Gaddafi. Idris was in Italy for medical treatment when Gaddafi and his Free Officer movement abolished the monarchy and established the Libya Arab Republic. Gaddafi rise to power marked the beginning of the long and controversial route that lasted until 2011. Number 5, we have Uganda. In January 1971, Uganda President Milton Obote, who has led the country to independence from Britain in 1962, was overthrown while attending a Commonwealth Head of State conference in Singapore. The coup was orchestrated by Idi Amin, Obote's former ally and army commander. Amin regime who became notorious for its brutality and human rights abuses during his nearly 8 rule. This was followed by Gambia in 1981. Gambia experienced a failed coup attempt in 1981 when Kukoi Samba Sanyang, a former politician, tried to overthrow the government of President Sir Dawada Jawara. Jawara was in Britain attending a wedding of Prince Charles at the time. The coup was quashed with the intervention of Senegalese troops, allowing Jawara to return to power. He remained president until he was eventually ousted in 1994 by a coup led by Yahya Jammeh. Sudan, 1985. Sudan President Ghaffar Nimri was ousted in bloodless coup in 1985 April while on an official visit to the United States. After his removal, Nimri lived in exile in Egypt. He returned to Sudan in 1999 and even ran for president in the year 2000 election, although his attempt to regain power was unsuccessful. Central Africa Republic, 2003. In March 2003, General Francis Bossis led a coup in the Central Republic while President Ange Felix Pati was attending a conference in Niger. Bossis forces took control of capital Bangui, marking the beginning of tumultuous period of marking the beginning of tumultuous period for the country, which has since struggled with chronic instability and violence. This was followed by Mauritania in the year 2005. Mauritania President Ould Sihamed Taya was overthrown in a coup in August 2005 while he was in Saudi Arabia for funeral of King Fahd. The coup led by Colonel Eli Ould Mohamed Val was blood-led and marked the end of Taya's 21-year rule. This event underscored the unpredictability of political power in Mauritius. This was followed by Gambia in 2014. A coup attempt occurred in Gambia in December 2014 while President Yahya Jammeh was abroad. The attempt was led by former army officer Lamine Sanneh and other dissatisfied soldiers. However, the coup failed as the rebels were unable to consolidate their control. Jammeh continued to rule until he was forced to relinquish power in 2017 following a contested election and subsequent intervention by the ECOWAS. Conclusion: these incidents reveal a pattern of vulnerability of African leaders traveling abroad, as their absence often provided a window of opportunity for opponents to seize power.